Hey there, welcome to the Fame Diaries family. Want to be part of this journey? It's easy. Just do these three simple things. Hit that subscribe button because this isn't just a channel you watch. It's a story you become a part of. Smash that like button to show your support and help us keep creating powerful stories. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single moment of inspiration. Without you, these stories are incomplete. So let's grow together, explore together, and be inspired together. Ready? Then go for it. Join Fame Diaries now and become part of something unforgettable.
It was a cold, misty night in New York. The kind where the air felt thick and the distant hum of the city mixed with the occasional howl of the wind. On Sycamore Street, in the heart of one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods, sleek black patrol cars rolled to a stop. Their red and blue lights reflected off the perfectly polished pavement, bouncing off the wrought iron gates of a grand estate that inside one of those cars, Officer Robert Morgan gripped his flashlight a little tighter, eyes locked on the house in front of him. This was it. Weeks of intel, anonymous tips, whispers among the department. It had all led them here, Dot. He pressed the radio on his shoulder. "This is Officer Morgan, 453 Sycamore Street. We're moving in." Silence filled the car for a moment, followed by a static reply. "Copy that. Proceed with caution." Morgan exhaled slowly, adjusting his grip on his weapon. His team was already moving, their boots silent against the pavement as they approached the grand double doors of the estate. The house was pristine, lush green lawns, perfectly trimmed hedges, the kind of place that didn't exactly scream criminal activity, Dot. But there was no room for doubt. They had a job to do, Dot. With a single nod, the battering ram swung forward, smashing the door open with a thunderous crack. The noise echoed through the halls. A woman's gasp came from inside. Dot flashlights cut through the darkness as the team stormed in. Morgan's heartbeat pounded in his ears as his gaze darted across the living room. Luxurious sofas, bookshelves stacked with leather-bound editions, marble flooring that looked almost untouched. Definitely not the kind of place you'd expect for a high-stakes criminal operation, Dot. And then, footsteps. Quick, but not panic. At the top of the grand staircase stood a man, mid-40s, dressed in loose pajama pants and a crisp white shirt. His face was calm, but his brow furrowed with confusion. "What the hell is this?" His voice was sharp, authoritative, Dot. Morgan aimed his flashlight at the man. "Hands where we can see them. Get down here, now." The man raised his hands, descending the stairs slowly. There was something off about him. Not scared, not angry, just irritated. "This has to be some kind of mistake," he muttered. Dot Morgan didn't respond. He was already scanning the room, his team tearing through drawers, flipping over furniture, ripping through every inch of the place, Dot. The man let out a slow breath. "Mind telling me what exactly you're looking for?" Morgan barely glanced at him. "We received intel about illegal contraband. We know what's going on here." The man folded his arms, watching as a porcelain vase crashed to the ground. His voice was steady, almost bored. "And what exactly do you think you're gonna find?" Morgan ignored the question. "Name, William Preston." Something about the name tugged at Morgan's memory, but he brushed it off. Probably some high-profile lawyer or a hedge fund guy trying to talk his way out of trouble. "Sit down and stay put," he ordered, nodding to one of his officers to keep an eye on him. Dot Preston sat, his movements controlled, almost calculated. He didn't argue, didn't resist, just observed. Minutes stretched on. The house was torn apart, upstairs, downstairs, the garage. Nothing. Not a single damn thing. Morgan clenched his jaw as frustration crept in. He turned toward Jason, one of the younger officers. "Tell me we found something." Jason hesitated, then shook his head. "Sir, the place is clean. There's nothing here." Morgan's stomach twisted. That didn't make sense. The tip had been solid. The plan was airtight. Unless they'd been played, Dot. And that's when he felt it. That uneasy weight in the air. The kind of silence that meant something was about to go very, very wrong. Preston leaned forward slightly, lacing his fingers together. If you're done wrecking my house, I'd like to say a few things. Morgan turned, annoyance flaring. You can save it. You're looking at some serious charges. Preston smiled, just a little. Oh, I don't think so. Morgan narrowed his eyes. And why's that? There was a pause, a heartbeat of tension, and then, because I'm the new chief of police. The room froze. Morgan blinked. What? Preston sighed, stretching his legs out a little as if he had all the time in the world. William Preston, newly appointed chief of the Millwood Police Department, and as of this morning, your boss. Morgan felt his pulse slam in his ears. That name. He had heard it before. He just never thought he'd be hearing it now. Jason's radio crackled to life. 453 Sycamore Street, confirm identity of William Preston. A pause. Then the voice on the other end came through, firm and unforgiving. Confirmed. William Preston is the newly appointed chief of police. Silence. Morgan swallowed hard, the weight of reality crashing down on him. Oh, shit! Preston stood, dusting off his pajama pants. His voice was calm but razor sharp. Now. Who wants to explain why a squad of my own officers just raided my house on false intel? No one spoke. Morgan opened his mouth, but no words came out. Preston exhaled, shaking his head. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell me exactly who gave this order, who set this up, because whoever it was, they weren't trying to stop crime. They were trying to stop me. Morgan's hands curled into fists. We were following orders. From who? A muscle ticked in Morgan's jaw. He didn't know, and that made it worse. Preston watched him for a long moment. This isn't over, and trust me, whoever set this up, I'll find them. Morgan could only stand there, stomach twisting. He had walked into this house thinking he was stopping criminals. Instead, he'd walked straight into a setup, one that could ruin everything. Preston moved past them, walking towards his front door. He pulled it open, then turned back. You can leave now. One by one, the officers shuffled out, their faces pale. Morgan was the last to leave, and as he stepped out into the cold night air, he couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a mistake. It was the beginning of something much, much bigger. And whoever was pulling the strings, they weren't finished yet. The end, or just the beginning.